Hey TikTok, since we know Satan runs this road, I could literally show you so much symbolism in SpongeBob to back up how this has to do with mocking God even more. SpongeBob was created in 1999, but if you flip those nines upside down, you literally have three sixes. In Greek, spongios means sponge. It is the word used in the New Testament to refer to the sponge that was soaked in the vinegar and offered to Jesus on the cross. The word is believed to be perhaps of foreign origin. In the Gospel accounts of Jesus' crucifixion, there was a bystander unnamed in the Bible who offered Jesus a sponge soaked in vinegar. This person, later named Stephaton in Christian tradition, was likely a Roman soldier or someone present at the scene. The Gospels of Matthew, Mark, John mention this event, though with some variations in detail. Both Gospels mention that a bystander, after hearing Jesus call out, ran and filled the sponge with vinegar and offered it to Jesus on a reed or a staff. John's Gospel describes a more direct act of offering vinegar, stating that the soldier soaked a sponge in it and lifted it up to Jesus' lips. The vinegar, likely a cheap Roman wine vinegar, Pascha, was offered to Jesus either out of a sense of mockery or perhaps even pity and mercy. Most likely mockery is the Roman soldier. The act also fulfilled the prophecy from Psalm 69. 69 starts off with, "Save me, O God, for the waters are come into my soul. I sink in deep mire, where there is no standing. I come into deep waters, where the floods overflow me. I am weary of my crying, my throat is dried. My eyes fail while I wait for my God." And then in Psalm 19 of that same exact chapter 69, it says, "Thou hast known my reproach and my shame and my dishonor. My adversaries are all before thee. Reproach has broken my heart, and I am full of heaviness. And I looked for some to take pity, but there was none, and for the comforters, but I found none. They gave me also gall for my meat, and in my thirst they gave me vinegar to drink." The most prominent symbolism of vinegar is its association with the suffering Jesus endured during the crucifixion. The offering of vinegar to Jesus while he is on the cross is a direct fulfillment of the Old Testament prophecy, specifically Psalm 69:21, which describes the experience of deep suffering and rejection. The act of giving Jesus vinegar was not just a practical measure to quench his thirst, but also a form of humiliation and mockery. It highlighted the contrast between the divine grace offered by Jesus and the rejection he faced from humanity. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 26, vinegar is used to illustrate the negative consequences of laziness and inefficiency. It is compared to a sluggard who is like vinegar to the teeth, causing irritation and discomfort. The name Bob, since we already went over sponge and how it's related to all that in scripture, the name Bob is a diminutive or shortened form of the name Robert. Robert, in turn, originates from the Germanic name H-Rod-Debert, composed of the elements H-Rod, fame, and Berhart, bright. Therefore, Bob essentially means bright fame or famous brilliance. Yes, renown and fame are essentially synonyms, both referring to the state of being widely known and admired. Renown emphasizes the positive reputation and recognition that comes with fame, often associated with the notable achievements or qualities. It can also refer to places or things that are widely known for something. Just like in Genesis 6, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which of were old, men of renown, so men of fame. The sponge bearer refers to Stephaton, a figure in Christian tradition not explicitly named in the Bible, who offered Jesus a sponge soaked in vinegar during the crucifixion. In medieval Christian art and text, Stephaton is often depicted alongside Longinus, the soldier who pierced Jesus' side with a lance. Yes, ancient Romans used a sponge attached to a stick called pterosorium or xylospongium for cleaning after using the toilet. These were often communal, shared by multiple people in public latrines. The sponges were typically rinsed in water, sometimes with vinegar or salt between uses. Roman public latrines were designed with multiple seats, often without much privacy, and featured a channel of running water underneath. The pterosorium was a tool consisting of a wooden stick with a sea sponge attached to the end. In the Bible, the term pterosorium or xylospongium refers to a sponge on a stick used for cleaning after defecation and is relevant to the crucifixion of Jesus in the Gospels. While not explicitly named in the Bible, scholars suggest the object used to offer Jesus a drink on the cross was likely a pterosorium dipped in vinegar to mock him. This is supported by the fact that the Gospels mention a sponge soaked in vinegar being offered to Jesus on a stick. Also, interesting thing real quick. It happens to be in Psalm 69 where they're mocking him during his crucifixion, right? We got 6 and a 9 right there. If you flip that 9 upside down, that's another 6. And if you add 6 and 9 together, that equals 15, which 1 plus 5 is 6. So technically, just in 69, you have 3 sixes. Also, in Proverbs 10 right here, you have 10 plus 2, which is 12, plus 6, which is 18. And you need 3 sixes to make 18. And that's describing what vinegar is. To make some videos on how Plankton and the All Hill Plankton scene in the movie is completely satanic and has to do with like Neuralink kind of style, Mark of the Beast, what it's probably going to look like, honestly, as well as how Luciferus has to go into Plankton. And yeah, I'm going to have to make a video or two more on this, just because for some reason I can't get the audio working in here, and I'll run out of time anyways. So God bless y'all, and I'll be probably posting those later today.